Namaskar. The Bhishma way or the Jatayu way. No two people respond to the same situation in a similar way. Here are examples of two legendary personalities who were faced with a similar situation, but their responses were diagonally apart. This is a comparative study between the characters Bhishma in the epic Mahabharata and Jatayu in the epic Ramayana. Both of them were confronted with their character when they had to handle decisions based on an assault on womanhood. The metaphor comes equally handy in the world of decision making. One chose to die protecting the victim, while the other chose to be a mute spectator to the crime. First, powerful and or powerless. Bhishma was a powerful warrior, and if he wanted, he could have stopped the disrobing of Draupadi, the queen, but he chose to be a silent witness to this act. Whereas Jatayu was old and invalid and knew that in all probability Ravana would kill him, but still he chose to try his best to protect Sita, the queen. Bhishma was powerful yet acted powerless, whereas Jatayu was powerless yet acted powerful. Real power is not about physical strength but about the deep desire to help. Second, alive or dead. Bhishma lived on for long but died every day to his conscience, whereas Jatayu died once but lived eternally true to his conscience. Our only constant companion is our conscience, but better to be true to it. Third, fame or infamy. Bhishma's name and fame drawn in history because of this one act of not stopping the disrobing of Draupadi. But Jetayu's name and fame went high in history because of his act of trying to save Sita. We are all going to be mere names in history sooner or later. Will we be equated with the bad or the good? It's our choice. Next, fourth, culture or vulture. Bhishma was supposed to be a highly cultured woman, but acted highly insensitive and stopped low in values like a vulture. Whereas Jatayu was supposed to be a lowly, uncultured vulture, but acted highly sensitive and soared to the skies in values like an evolved woman. Who would you call as a woman, Bhishma or Jatayu? One does not become a human being by being born as a human. One becomes a human being by being a human. Fifth, spoken or unspoken words. Draupadi begged and pleaded protection from Bhishma because she knew if someone could protect her, it was only him. But still, Bhishma didn't protect her. Whereas Sita didn't even ask Jatayu for protection. She just wanted him to inform Rama about her kidnapping by Ravana because she knew Jatayu was not powerful, but still Jatayu tried to protect Sita. Bhishma, being a woman, couldn't even understand the spoken words of Draupadi, leave alone understanding her unspoken sentiments. Whereas Jatayu, even though he was a mere bird, understood not only the spoken words of Sita but also her unspoken words. The language of heart is more powerful than the language of words. Sixth, clarity or confusion. Bhishma was so confused and engrossed in his royal duty that he forgot that he had a higher duty, a moral duty. Whereas Jatayu was so clear about his moral duty and no other duty was a consideration for him. When caught up in dilemmas, best is to follow the higher principles, to follow our heart because it always knows the truth. Seventh, good or bad example. Bhishma set a very bad precedent for generations to come, whereas Jatayu set the most ideal precedent for generations to come. If we can't be a great example, at least let us not be a bad one. Eighth, relative or stranger. Another interesting point is that Bhishma was an elderly relative of Draupadi but acted as a total stranger in this episode. Whereas Jatayu was not at all related to Sita. He was a stranger but acted more than a dearest relative. True relations are based on connections of the heart, not just bodily connections. 9. The saintly or the wicked. Both Bhishma and Jatayu had a few moments to decide what to do. Life sometimes puts each of us in situations where, in a few moments, we need to take crucial decisions. What we decide very much depends on the kind of inner integrity we have cultivated by the association we keep. Bhishma's intelligence was clouded and it failed the test of life because he associated with wicked minded, the selfish Kauravas, whereas Jatayu's intelligence was crystal clear and it passed the test of life because he associated with the saintly, selfless Lakshman and all pure Lord Rama. After all, who we solely depends on whom we associate it with. 10th, embrace or neglect. The Supreme Lord as Sri Krishna was not at all happy with this attitude of Bhishma. So much so that he, when he came as a peace messenger to Hastinapur, he didn't even bother to look at Bhishma. Whereas the Supreme Lord as Ramachandra was so happy with the attitude of Jatayu that he embraced him and personally did his final rites, a honor that even Dasharatha, his father, did not receive. The scriptures explain that the ultimate test of any activity is if the Supreme Lord is pleased with us, it is very clear. Bhishma displeased God, whereas Jatayu pleased him. This recount is not meant to criticize Bhishma. He is undoubtedly a great warrior and an amazing personality who sacrificed his personal desire for Hastinapur. But we do vehemently criticize his inaction. The moral here is to learn from the choices made so that we are conscious history follows. When we see some injustice, some problem, we have only two options. Either close your eyes to it or do something about it. Follow the Bhishma way or the Jatayu way. And whichever way we choose, remember there will be a consequences of our choices. The Bhishma result or the Jatayu result. Thank you.